within a few days, if we zoom in here and we look very closely, it looks like within probably 4 or 5 days, we will have a deciding movement in the market if it's going to break down or pull up into an uptrend. If we look at my own custom indicator here, we can see as well that it is still in a confirmed uptrend, but it is about to break down into a downtrend. But it could be saved, of course. There are a bunch of things I want to cover in this video. If we look at the overall fear and greed index here, we can see that it is on 42, a neutral spot. This is not really an indicator we can go off from when deciding how we should trade a project or similar, but it is a good indicator for the overall market trend and something to take into account. For example, you wouldn't want to be fighting this here fear and greed index when trading an altcoin because Bitcoin moves 5%, and this is going to move, you know, the fear and greed index quite a bit. It's going to end up moving your altcoin by multiplications of that 10%, 15%, 20%. So you don't want to be in an altcoin when Bitcoin takes a dip or a similar scenario. Talking about Bitcoin, it's actually in a very interesting state because we've been moving sideways for quite a while. This is probably another sideways movement, but that doesn't mean we can't trade it and take advantage of it. So that is why we want the indicators. That is why we want to predict the next move. If we look at the other moves right here, they've kind of been playing with support and resistance levels mostly. And the support and resistance level that we are at right now is the 62,000 level right here. If we look at the other times where it broke down, it's been around the 65K level, the 63K level, and so on. And when it finally breaks one of those resistance levels, it tends to fall pretty quickly. Also the same way on the way up, because this is a sort of a manipulated market, if you could say so, where it's being pumped up and down in order to extract money. You need to play very smart here with this and not fall into the hype of when it's going up, you want to buy. It's more of you take a stance right before it happens and you try to use all your tools in your arsenal in order to figure it out as early as possible. So we have a scenario unfolding right in front of our eyes here, a great opportunity to short or long Bitcoin. My gut is telling me that it's going to be a short scenario, but I don't want to take a position until I'm certain, like really certain about it, because once it takes a decision, it's usually about to fly quite a bit of a distance, multiple percentages, and if you have any type of leverage, it's going to be a very big trade quite quickly. There are some other things here that I want to look at. The overall amount of active Bitcoin wallets. Over here on Glassnode, we can see that the amount was kind of dipping and stagnating, but we have sort of a tiny little uptrend here. I know it's hard to see. Maybe if I go to the 5-year mark, it's sort of in an uptrend here, which is quite interesting. The dips are higher, meaning we could have an uptrend in more people joining crypto, and this is just people taking profit from the pump before. I think that's very interesting. If we look at the Google Trends, it's kind of stagnated. This is the 90-day trend. If we look at 1 year, then it's kind of in decline. If we look at 5-year, you know how crypto works, it's kind of, you know, stabilized. It's pretty much at the bottom, which also means that we have potential for an uptrend. I think the overall cryptocurrency topic at a whole is kind of stagnated right now. But there is something very interesting here, and that is the meme coins. If we look at the meme coins here, which is something that can run the crypto market, it's kind of in a little bit of an uptrend. The prediction here from Google Trends is a strong uptrend. It might not seem like a lot, this little peak here, but if we say 100 on this little chart here, on this little graph, is 100% interest, then going from 39% to 58% interest, that means that's a very big jump. It's not a double, but I would guess a 50% or something like that. A 50% increase in interest probably doesn't mean a 50% increase in price, but a 50% increase in interest leads to some type of increased engagement on the meme coins. You know how projects rotate from meme coins into stable coins, into Bitcoin and so on. There is a very exciting scenario here where it actually breaks out instead into an uptrend. So I'm gonna be here looking at the market, following along. If it breaks into an uptrend, if we see meme coins pump, we should go in here and have a look at meme coins. We actually see Dogecoin pumping right now. It's good performing. SHIB is good performing. This is all supporting the trend. Pepe is kind of in a little bit of a dip, but we have a dog we've had as well, just pumping, going pretty good. So this is supported by the Google Trends. And when we have meme coin interest, after people take profit, it's being rotated back into Bitcoin and similar. So if this breaks out, I think this would be a pretty good breakout. I think we could see a reach out for the 65 to 66K level, and we would then have to go from there to decide on what to do. If it breaks down, I think we should look at the meme coin interest and what the meme coins are doing to integrate that into our short. But I'll be ready to take action as soon as I see what I want to see here, as soon as I see the graph making a decision, or personally, I have my own indicator here. I'll share it with you guys here on YouTube so you guys can stay as updated as possible on it. But that is basically my game plan here. Within a couple of days, we will have a fantastic trade lined up that I'm gonna put some money in, and we'll ride it for as long as possible. Most likely, we're gonna run it until we see a trend change. What we don't want to see is what we saw right here, a very fast pump followed by a very fast dip. Now, if you follow the trend here and bought, the actual loss from this trade here would be very minimal, but it would still be a loss. So this scenario here sucks. This scenario is not the same. So this is not what's gonna happen, because we've already been in an uptrend for a very long time, and it has actually not yet broken. So that's going to be the update for today. Before I ramble on for too long, please let me know what you think in the comments down below. The platforms where I trade on will be linked in the description down below. Mostly it's going to be traded on BYBIT. I've done previous video talking on why I trade on BYBIT, but mostly it's because of the safety and the security. That's about it. I don't want to lose my money, so that's where I have them when I trade. That's going to be the market update. Please still do your own analysis and try to figure out where the market is heading next. Make your own decisions. I want you guys to learn about the market so you can make, like, safely bet on yourself, your own decisions, because following YouTube videos blindly is not going to end up well. But I'm giving my best advice here and just showing my own trading path, basically. So good luck in the market, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.